Ladies and gentlemen, yes, if you are just joining us, don't worry, you just missed our headlines. But right now, I'm going to be revealing my guests to you. I hope you've got a glass of juice. You're sipping and you're just listening to the gist at the comfort of your home or wherever you are at this moment. And juicy, juicy juice of today. Yes, I know you've been waiting for this particular one. So, our first story. Popular Nigerian actor, lawyer, and politician Kenneth Okonkwo has reacted to the state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. The 56-year-old movie star, in a post on his Instagram page, stated that President Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State is illegal and unconstitutional. Okonkwo pointed out that a state of emergency refers to the suspension of some fundamental rights of citizens for the government to restore order in a state of anarchy. He further noted that former President Goodluck Jonathan's state of emergency, I beg your pardon, declaration for the northeast state of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa in 2013 did not include the removal of Governor Shetima and others from office. This actually brings me to my first question to Bill. What do you make of this whole story, and would the state of emergency lead to a decline in film production, like in our entertainment industry? First off, what do you make of the whole story, and narrowing it down to the entertainment sector? Yeah, how would it affect us? But first of all, what do you make of the whole story?
I think for one, we know that it's not hidden that Nigerians at the moment do not trust the government. It's been years, but now it's really bad because there's no accountability. We're not really communicating properly as we should to the citizens, the government. And state of emergency, like we've read, because these things come up like this, and then you go back and you read what is state of emergency and at what point should we declare. So I live in Port Harcourt here in this city, and we've had peace. The state of emergency should come in when there's laws, things are getting out of hand, and you just need to take control of a situation before it escalates. So people are asking questions because everything was peaceful, and all of a sudden we hear that there's been declared a state of emergency. I think that even though it's lawful, because I don't know the full extent of the law when it comes to declaring a state of emergency, even though I don't think this situation demands that it doesn't demand a state of emergency. It only escalates things, that shouldn't be escalated, and brings more questions to the hearts of people that already have so much doubts with the current government. And then to answer your second question, I don't think it should affect the entertainment industry. Let's see how things go in a couple of weeks, but I don't think the entertainment industry should have issues. I think things should go as they are, unless things change in the coming weeks. I think things as it relates to the entertainment industry, we should go with.
Okay, so people would want to organize events. People want to have create content. People want to do things. People want to also sponsor events. Now, when you have a state of emergency declared in a state, like I know moving around, I'd already advised a whole lot of people to move about with their with a means of identity, because you see people stop you on the road, like military men stop you on the road, policemen stop you on the road to check you. Do you get? And now investors want to invest in a state that has peace, that is peaceful, that they believe that, okay, when we invest in this particular venture, we're going to make returns from it. And if there is no peace and we're having a state of emergency, don't you think that would affect psychologically how they would want to invest in such events?
I think so. I think it would. I think it's come from the outside looking, and the way people react to what's going on here in the city. From the outside, it's when they see things from the outside, they think, oh, things are upside down, people are running for their lives.
Yes, because of social media.
In that sense, it's going to affect a lot. Some people are going to move their events. Some people are going to probably cancel their events altogether. But I would say maybe just as a point, just to keep themselves safe. I think because they don't, it's unpredictable what's going to happen in the coming weeks. So in that sense, yeah, a lot of money is going to be lost.
True.
But it's perception, not the reality. The perception and the reality of things are different. So yeah, with the perception of what people think is going on here, it's going to affect the entertainment industry. But in reality, I think it shouldn't. But then I don't control people's reactions to events.
Yes, actually, you don't control people's reactions, but you know, these are things that happen. And what would your advice to the people at the helm of affairs be, and to the young ones seeing this one? What would your advice to them be? First of all, then we'll go to the young ones seeing this particular story and this particular matter play out.
I'd say do what you need to do to be safe. People in the helms of affairs need to, I think we've said this 100 times in different ways. I think people in the helms of affairs need to do things in a way that build trust, because right now the reason why people ask questions whenever the government makes any decisions is because we know that they've done a lot of things to break our trust. So people at the helms of affairs need to think of ways they can, you know, run the government in a way that builds trust with the people, because at the moment the trust is not there, and if you don't have the trust of the people, whatever plans you have for them are going to be slowed down.
When you say build ways in which we can trust the government, does any way come to mind? Like, what would the government do now that will make you trust them as a young person?
I mean, it's simple.
Okay.
Communicate clearly and do what you say you're going to do. I don't think that's difficult.
Communicate clearly and do what you say you're going to do. Oh, that sounds very simple, but it's quite tricky though.
Yeah, it's, you know, you don't have, I feel like there's no need to use complicated words. When you talk to the people, you talk to them like straight to the point, simple, in the words that they can understand. If you're going to have to give analogies, you know, examples of what you're trying to say, whatever it takes to clearly put your message out there, and then once you put out the message, I don't think we even need to talk much as a government. We know there's so many problems to solve, so we just pick and choose which one we want to solve. So I believe if you find a way to clearly communicate to people in a way that they're going to understand, and then do what you say you're going to do. I think once they see that, oh, he said this, he did it. He said this, he did it. Or she said this, she did it. You're going to see that they're going to trust you more when you make decisions. At this point, the state of emergency declared in Rivers State. There's so much distrust already with the government, so you making that decision makes them ask questions like, oh, what is he doing this for? Because we know our city is peaceful. True.
And the breaking news came that the National House of Assembly has actually gone ahead to approve this particular one. So I don't think, I'll just hold my thoughts on that particular one. But your advice to the young ones?
I know, stay safe.
Yeah, very important.
And to be honest, I would say, whatever you need to do as regards your education career, I think you should see it as a personal responsibility to yourself. Take it as, you know, it's all in your hands, and do not, you know, kind of push any responsibility of your life to the government. Obviously, the government, who knows, might come in the future to actually help make things easier for us. But I believe it's our sole, we should ensure that see that it's our sole responsibility to, you know, do what we can do to better our education, better our career, instead of pushing that responsibility to anyone but ourselves.
Yeah, such a timely advice. Be safe and do not push responsibilities to the government. Be sure to take your destiny in your own hands as a young person. Such a great advice from Bill there. Thank you so much, Bill, for those great words of wisdom. And